tools basically for people out there that have never bought a home, sold a home, or maybe they haven't done it in a long time and they don't really know what to expect in the whole experience. And you've done an awesome job in Washington and Frederick County. You know, you have tons of happy clients. So I'm excited to teach other people, you know, how working with you goes from A to Z.
Well, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make a schedule appointment with you so I can come meet you at your property.
Okay.
That way I can actually give you an assessment of your home. We'll talk about, is there anything we need to do to the home, get it ready before we put it on the market. There's some things you might do, you think you need to do, won't get you a return on your money.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to make sure you don't spend money you don't necessarily have to, but there might be some things we need to do to get someone to even write an offer.
Okay.
So I like to go over that first, but then also, well, when doing that, I'll write down notes about your house, and I'll start working on a market analysis so we know, based on the market conditions, where your home's located at, you know, the overall market conditions, the buyer's market, seller's market. I'll come up with some type of value for us, a range, and also give you how many days in the market it should take.
Okay.
After we get together, you feel comfortable with me, you want to choose myself or one of my agents on my team to work with you to sell your house, because literally we're working for you. You're hiring us to sell your house.
Okay.
So once you feel comfortable with the pricing and all that, we'll get together and sign a listing agreement. It takes about 45 minutes to an hour.
Okay.
And usually at that time there, we'll schedule the time for the photographer to come out, video tour, and we'll talk about different social media. If you don't mind, maybe like me posting stuff on my social media account and you get to upload it to yours. That way, because I want to make sure we're working together as a team, and I'm just not working for you by myself. We're working together as a team, because together we can sell your house quicker.
Right. So when we do that, you said that I start working for you. Do I have to pay you guys anything at that point to like bring you on as my listing agent?
It'd be nice, but we know some agents do charge up front.
I really don't know, so I'm just curious.
Yeah,
I'll
tell
how
you,
does it work?
There's no fees whatsoever up front, unless there's some improvements required. So what it is, we determine a commission on the house, and like, again, there's no fees until we settle. So I get paid when a house sells.
So let's say that we do a few renovations to the house and you've got all this awesome marketing out there and somebody says, oh, I want the house. So what, as a seller, what do I have to do once we get somebody that's interested and they want to buy the house? What happens?
All right, well, that means an offer came in, which is great, because now we know we have somebody out there that's willing to make an offer. At that point there, we'll sit down, I'll review the offer with you, I'll go over all the details. I'll do what they call a seller net sheet. You'll know exactly what your bottom line is. Because not just because it's a high price offer, maybe other things in there is going to lower the values. Maybe they want a home inspection, radon inspection, a chimney inspection, and those all can cost thousands of dollars. So that's all part of the negotiation.
How would I do that? Is that something you guys?
Yeah, that's something I'll guide you. We'll guide you through the whole process.
Okay.
You know, sometimes we negotiate some of those inspections out of the offer. So say we're down to an offer on your house that you're acceptable with, the purchase price. But you're saying, yeah, well, I don't mind doing a home inspection. I know my house is going to pass most of the home inspection items, but I really don't want a chimney inspection. I mean, don't use my chimney, never have. It's an older home, and I don't want it to be responsible for it. We'll negotiate, have that removed out of, hopefully get that removed out. And, so there's different things we can do.
But you guys will do all the negotiating for us. Like I wouldn't have to negotiate any of that stuff. I'll just tell you yay or nay, and you figure it out from there.
Yeah, I like to tell people I don't do the final negotiation. You make the final decision. I'm here to guide you and give you my advice and use my previous negotiating experience to tell you what I think will happen if we negotiate. If we say this is what I think will happen on the buyer's end. If they'll come back. So you make the final decisions.
So we've got a good offer. We've negotiated the deal. So then we sit down, and is that when we sign paperwork and turn everything over? And how long does that usually take once we accept an offer?
Yeah, once the offer comes to us, and I really prefer only written offers. That means I know the buyer is more serious when they put an offer in writing. So when we're part of negotiating, a lot of that negotiating is just done verbally or maybe through email. So once we come to the final terms, we'll put all that in writing, change the contract around, everyone signs it, and that becomes a ratified contract. Say it's a 30-day settlement, and the appraisal comes back on day 20, good value, no conditions, we're going to settle 10 days later. So at that point there, we're going to talk about make sure you get utilities switched over. The title company's going to be in contact with you during this whole process, getting your payoff information, your loan information. So really, the next step is just a settlement. And making sure there's some things we take care of in the meantime. So, just make sure like the insurance, you probably notify your insurance company, hey, we're going to be settling on the 30th, and make sure you cancel that and some other things as well.
Okay.
We're going to do the final walkthrough before settlement. Usually those go fine. So we show up at settlement, we're going to sign, it takes about an hour. You're going to be signing over the deed and title and any of the seller documents. The buyers there are pretty happy. There's going to be a lot of questions going back and forth, like, hey, who's the trash service? How are your neighbors? Stuff like that. And it's usually a real good time. So there's a whole process that's involved that you may not even realize is going on before settlement, but the day of settlement, that's when it all comes together. It's a great day because the buyers are happy, you're excited, you're moving on to the next step. I call it the next chapter of your life, and you just kind of go from there.
So is that the last step? That's it?
Well, hopefully, we don't want any more steps after that, unless you want to buy.